Greetings, patriots, compatriots, and comrades of the Republic of Kenya, our country, our state, the country we love, the country we adore, the country we bestow our hope on, the country, a transformative country, a great nation we have in East Africa, a great nation we have in Africa, the most beloved, the one and only, the Republic of Kenya. Citizens of Kenya, why are we called patriots? A patriot is one who is ready to die for his own country. A patriot is one who is ready to take any risk because of his country. A patriot is one who is ready to fight for his country. A patriot is one who, even a centennial, cannot, under any circumstances, in no circumstances, can he or she betray his country. This is our country. If we do corruption, we betray our country. If we perpetuate, if you are perennial perpetuator of injustices, we are betraying our country. If we support injustices, tribalism, conmanship, then we are betraying our country. If we do all these things that I'm mentioning, we are betraying our country. Now, this goes to the President, William Ruto. You are a President of the Republic of Kenya. You took an oath of office just barely 2 weeks, I don't know, barely 1 week after the declaration, the formal judicial declaration that you are duly elected on the 9th August. You are a symbol of national unity, Mr. President. You are a symbol of resource mobilization, Mr. President. You are the President of the Republic of Kenya. You are the Commander-in-Chief. During your campaign, you promised Kenyans. You promised a lot to your citizens. You promised a lot to the comrades, to the patriots, to the hustlers, the people that you refer to them as hustlers. You promised a lot, Mr. President. You need to act as an example for our country. Despite just being the President of the Republic of Kenya, despite being a politician playing dirty games, as it is being described that politics is a dirty game, you are a leader who is supposed to lead as an example, who is supposed to be the great motivational speaker and the first in the country, who is supposed to be the driver, who is supposed even to be the Lord of the country. You cannot come during a mid-campaign period, give volumes of promises to citizens, give a lot of promises to citizens, a lot of promises, manifestos, regardless of who voted for you. We don't care who voted for you. We don't care the region that voted for you more, but you are the President of the Republic of Kenya, not the President of Kalenjins and Gikuyu, not GK. We are past that. In fact, you are the same person who says Wajinga walisha Kenya. You are the same person who says that we want a country that we are moving forward. But you are inept braggart, full of false bravados and very many entirely oppugnances. You want to plunge the country into a political and constitutional crisis. You want to bring quagmires of confusions. You want to plunge the country into catastrophes and crinkrums and crankrums. Mr. President, William Ruto, you claim to be a doctor of philosophy, a PhD. You are just a blabber, gibberish, jibba-jabba manifestos, policies and ideologies that cannot work, surrounded by thieves, clearing all sorts of people. Look at your ministry. You subject them to the so-called vetting competitive process that actually the outcome has been determined by you. William Ruto, before election, you promised Kenyans within 100 days that you are going to deliver. You promised Kenyans that you are going to deliver to them essential goods and services. Currently, as we are speaking, they are aggressively and significantly increasing. That is the prices now. Prices aggressively and significantly increasing, contrary to what you promised within 100 days in your term of service. This is a clueless government. This is a clueless government. This is an inept government. This is a government of hypocrisy. This is a government of lies and propaganda and conmanship. You promised Kenyans that within 100 days, you are going to lower the prices of essential goods and services. Right now, how much do Kenyans buy unga? Now, you are invited to media houses. The very first time after you are swearing in, I believe so. Instead of explaining to Kenyans why unga prices are not at 100 shillings, you want to tell them why it's not 300 shillings. Then you call yourself a person who work according to your manifesto. That is contrary, that is repugnant, that is outrageous, so ridiculous. Change on that, Mr. President. We want the prices of commodity to reduce. In fact, unga is supposed to be 70 shillings. Unga is supposed to be cheaper than what we buy right now. You cannot afford buy unga 200 shillings. You need to understand that the prices of an essential commodity, when you talk about an economy whereby agriculture is our staple food, that is maize, our staple food is not supposed to be expensive in any country. Look at countries which staple food are rice, very cheap. Countries that staple food are maize, like Kenya, maize is not supposed to be expensive. Look at Uganda, their staple food is banana, however, maize is cheap. But you come to Kenya, unga, maize, call how you can call it, is very expensive, and that is an essential good. Mr. President, are you being fair to our country? Are you being fair to our state? Are you being fair to the hustlers? Sisi si wajinga bwana. We are not fools. And if you continue this way, we are going to organize for a demonstration. Sisi si wajinga na wajinga walisha hii Kenya, as you said. And we are going to deal with you. We are going to deal with you as the citizens of the country that tunaumia. Tunaumia kama wananchi. Look at the prices of fuel. Number 2, January 1st, and it was tweeted, it is documented, it's in the public domain, it is all over the public, in the media, in Google and wherever. You told Kenyans that token or the electricity bill are going to be we are going to make sure that they're going to be as low as possible. And right now, as you look, the tokens are inflated by 21%. Mr. President, is that conmanship? Are you now playing with Kenyans? You start now narrative of 2027 politics. You start some quagmires of confusions, bewildering Kenyans. Mr. President, we want electricity bill lowered. We want price of unga lowered. The very first thing before you move forward to creating jobs, which you purport, you claim that you've never done, start with essential goods and services. Start with the price of unga. Start with electricity bill. The transport sector, the price of fuel. You removed subsidies. Immediately, the very first thing you did when you were sworn in as the president, what did you do? You actually removed subsidies of fuel, which was very helpful to Kenyans. In economy cycle, we depend much on transportation. When eggs are being transported from the manufacturer or the producer to the consumers in cities, that we need a much fuels. And that is what is affecting the prices of eggs. And right now, we buy egg a tray at 400 shillings. Mr. President, those are the things that hustlers depend on to survive. Hustlers does not depend on meat. They don't go to butchery. They don't go to slaughter hens. We don't move to supermarkets. We buy unga, we buy eggs, we depend on omena and other things. And if you make the price very expensive, we buy things at a very exorbitant price, where do you want us to go to? Should we run away from our country? Should we run away from our beloved country, Kenya, Mr. President? Should we now stop the issue of hunger that is affecting Kenyans? You fail to mitigate, then now shift to politics that you are taking us through? You want us to discuss about issue of mediocre people like Rigathi Gachagua, confused people like Musalia Mudavadi? That is where you want to take us the country to. Reduce the prices of essential commodities, unga, electricity, eggs, and many things. Kenyans want to survive. We cannot talk about employment. We cannot talk about schools when people are dying of hunger. the very first thing is about people to be satisfied. We need to be satisfied first to work. The young generation, we need to be very strong, energetic, to work, to be creative. You talk about creativity. We need first to solve the immediate thing. You cannot tell somebody to be creative. You cannot talk about other things that are very utopic when you cannot solve the nitty-gritties. Mr. President, look on that. There are no water in Nairobi. You are the president. You have your governor here, Bwana Sakaja. Work together. We need water in Nairobi. We need water to circulate in taps. Can you solve that? Can you fight the cartels that you are promising to fight? Or are these cartels who financed you that you are protecting them, then you are pretending? We know you people. Nyinyi ndio wakora sasa. Nyinyi ndio wakora. Mnasema wajinga walisha hii Kenya na ni ukweli wajinga tulisha hii Kenya. Nyinyi ndio wakora kabisa. Mr. President, you are the president of you are the high priest of corruption. Mr. President, you are the high priest of conmanship. Mr. President, you are the biggest conman that Kenya has ever had. You are the worst thing Kenya has ever had. And we are telling you this. Reduce the essential prices of essential goods and services. Put a country whereby people can now focus on what they want to achieve in life. The youths can now focus on what they want to achieve in life. The wazes can survive. The young can survive. Focus on the very basic, the very fundamental that we Kenyans want to survive. We cannot talk about something without surviving. We need to survive to see tomorrow. We need to survive to see to reproduce the next generation. We need to survive. Now, on the issue of employment, Mr. President, the time you are the deputy president, actually, even when you look at the Christian philosophy or the dogma of Christianity, it clearly states that do not lie to children. Take children to the Lord. Take children to, I don't know, to the church. If you can lie to children about laptop, children who are class 1, it's now 12 years. These people are in Form 2. You lie to them about laptops. If a child you can lie to, what about others like us? If a child who is innocent, who is an angel, you can lie to about laptops, what about adults like us? Wana Mr. President, wacha ujinga bwana. You are a con man. Mr. President, the youth need employment. They need empowerment. Right now, if you go to register self-help group, you are being told, ngoja kwanza, wait. Hustler funds, conmanship. What can 500 do? 500 does not even qualify to be called a fund. That is an insult. 500 shillings is an insult. For instance, right now, if I have a problem I want to solve, Hustler fund, in fact, is another problem added to problem. Right now, if I want to buy food, I do not have money. I take the Hustler fund, 500 shillings, buy food. On the next day, I will need food again. That is a recurrent expenditure. And at the same time, I need to pay the loan Hustler fund, Hustler nyef. That is now how much? That you're now increasing the burden. Hustler fund is increasing burdens to Kenyans. And I urge Kenyans, do not pay that Hustler fund. That is an illegal fund. People to borrow because it is your money, but do not pay. It is illegal to pay an illegal amount of money. It was not subjected to public participation. We were not approached as citizens of Kenya about the Hustler funds. Nobody was approached. No signatures were taken. Parliament did not pass the bill, because if you claim Hustler fund is a government loan, then it shouldn't not be government loan. And in fact, the steering committee of the Hustler fund need to be subjected to court proceedings. They are supposed to be a case is supposed to be initiated and undertaken against this perennial conman calling steering committee of Hustler funds. These people that did not follow the due process to call Hustler fund actually a governmental loan. It's supposed to be declared illegal. Hustler fund is illegal. Any Kenyan who has borrowed the hustler fund should not refund. You are being message unatumiwa ni mingi kushinda hata pesa ulikopa. That is conmanship about hustler fund, about employment. Kenyans are suffering, youths are suffering. We see some of them at Jivanji Gardens there, at City Park here in Nairobi. They're just sleeping there, they're just stranded. They don't have a place to go. They don't have a place to go. But during time of election, these leaders, like led by William Ruto, the biggest con man, wants to dish out handouts to them so that they can go and attend rallies and to appear as if this guy has followers, to go and vote. A village with no electricity, a village that has no any development, a village that does not even appear in a list when the national cake is being distributed, cannot miss to be part and parcel of voting process. At time of voting, the IEBC will do all the process from A to Z, making sure that all adults are voting, or any registered voter. But when it comes to development, when it comes to health sectors, when it comes to education, when it comes to employment, zero. Mr. President, can you leave a positive legacy? Can you leave a good reputation? Can you leave a positive remark to Kenyans? Can you be the best president Kenya's ever had by 2027, Mr. President? By 2032, Mr. President? Can you leave some legacy? Can you go beyond Mwai Kibaki? I can say you may not. You are just a student, a pure student of Moi. We know you since YK92, the time of Jirongo, dishing out fake money. We remember you. We know you very well. You've been part and parcel of the Moi family. You've worked with Moi. You've been part and parcel of the Kenyatta family. You've worked with Mama Ngina Kenyatta and his son Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for 10 years and more. You've been part and parcel of Odingaism, the dynasties, the Odinga family, Raila Amolo Odinga. So you come and tell us that wewe ni hustler, wewe ni hustler. So between you, you are the son of a chief. And do you know who Moi was? Just a teacher. So between a teacher and son of a chief, who comes from dynasty? Now, hustler narrative, dynasty narrative ended on the 9th of August. Rigathi Gachagua, the chief parroter, going around Kenya, talking gibberish about Uhuru regime, about Baba Kitendawili, should stop and kindly start delivering to Kenyans. The only opposition that has remained here in Kenyans are the Kenya themselves. Kenyans stand up. Kenyans wake up. Patriots, compatriots, comrades, wake up. Let us fight this regime. Let us criticize this. The work of activists like us is to bring change to the society, is to check, criticize and oversight the government. And that is what we are supposed to do. Because these leaders are people who talk behind bars. We cannot trust these politicians. They are just con men. People who want to make sure that youth are unemployed so that they can use them to demonstrate, to go and negotiate, to go and bargain. Kenyans, we are supposed to work independently. We are supposed to speak as one. We are supposed to sit down. We are supposed to rise and resuscitate this bunge la wananchis and talk as one voice and say, Mr. President, no, where we are supposed to say no. We are supposed to say, Mr. President, yes, and support the government where we are supposed to support the government. This issue of depending on opposition leader actually don't work. These opposition leaders are being bought. These opposition leaders do negotiate. These opposition leaders, they're being bribed. It is only Kenyans, through the Bunge la Wananchi, through the activist platform, that can rise and bring change to the environment, to the government. Writing proposals, writing petitions, demonstrations, criticizing the government, checking the government, and to oversight. Thank you, patriots. Thank you, comrades.